Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. It is Saturday morning, and I'm about to run here at the park. I got a tempo run today, so it'll be fun, um, or not fun. We'll find out. Yeah, I was thinking as I was driving over here, though. We talked in the we talked in the last video. Talked about the Spartan races that I've done, and how I'm planning on doing a few more and even just becoming more interested in doing these kind of physical activities. Running right now has kind of been my focus. And, I've been in a very specific like running training block, which has been um, really good. It's been really good for building like my running fitness, my um, aerobic base, and just being able to run better, faster, longer. And I think that's really going to serve me coming up in these Spartan races. Anyway, um, I just wanted to answer like something that I've gotten from a lot of my friends as I've started this like Spartan journey, if you will. Like they ask me, how do you train for something like that? How do you train for a Spartan race? And so I just wanted to share with you guys some of what I've learned. I'm not an expert. I'm not a coach, not a personal trainer, and I've only done two races and gearing up for a third. Um, but I wanted to share with you what I've learned along the way. So I would say there's a few areas to work on, um, and and also some other considerations to take into to factor in for you personally. So I think the first step in training for a Spartan program is figure out where you're at right now. So, maybe you are a runner, and so you've got a great, super strong running base, and so you probably don't need to start with like running fitness, like I'm working on right now. Maybe you're a big CrossFit person, so doing carries and muscle ups and pulling yourself up and over things is a bit easier. And so maybe those kinds of strength training, grip training, that's not where you need to start. So the first thing you need to do is evaluate yourself, figure out where am I right now in relation to fitness, and just be honest. Like, it's not a indictment on you, it's not a judgment of you, it's not like a moral failure or anything like that. Um it's just being honest and evaluate, okay, where am I at right now? For me, a year ago, almost a year ago when I started this, I was a bit overweight, had no running fitness, and I was pretty strong, but my upper body, especially arms and like grip strength, were a bit lacking. So I started with just um, overall, like lots of some like plyometrics and running and burpees, and it was kind of sporadic. I had a training plan that I downloaded from online, and I followed it somewhat. It kind of focused on mobility and functional strength, so a lot of push-ups, a lot of burpees, a lot of dead hangs, and mixing that in with runs of various lengths, various distances. It also had lots of stretching, lots of dynamic stretching just to keep everything loose, and that's something I've learned is also, like, super important as you're getting into this uh, is making sure that you loosen up before you run. So first step, evaluate where you're at so that you can make a plan for you. Um, going after that, I would say there's kind of like 3 main areas that I would tell most beginners to train while prepping for any length of Spartan race. First is running fitness. So if you've already got this, great. But you are running. It is a race. The shortest one is a 5K. So that's about 3.2 miles ish. And uh, in that time, um, in that race, you're going to be overcoming obstacles, which is kind of the cool, like, fun part, but also you are running. You have to run between the obstacles. And you're like, well, I can run a 5K. Like, I've done that before. You need to be able to run a little bit more than a 5K. Number one, they're usually off road to some degree. So they're in kind of a trail. So doing some specific trail run training, it's a little bit different in the footing and your like stability depending on the terrain. There's often mud. And so you need to be prepared to get muddy, and maybe even like running and navigating wet, slick surfaces. So building your running fitness on the trail is number 1. Number 2, be able to, like, push a little bit further than that 5K or that 10K distance because you are gonna be running slower, because you're gonna be exhausted from the obstacles, and your heart rate's gonna get up, and you're gonna walk, and then there's often hills and trails, and, things like that that are just gonna slow you down. So, spend lots of time on your feet. Make sure that you're spending lots of time on feet, not just the like 5K distance or whatever. Make sure that you are like if you're running a 5K, make sure you train up to being able to spend time on your feet up to like an 8K or maybe even a 10K of running. And probably a good, like, look up online, some different finish times. My finish time for the first one was about an hour and a half for my 5K, and then it was about 2 hours and 27 minutes for about 2.5 hours for my 10K. That's much slower than a 5 or a 10K race that I would run on, like, the road or even on a trail, but you should be prepared to be, like, exerting yourself for that long. Um Alongside that, you need to be used to, hydrating electrolytes, make sure that you stay hydrated through your whole training process as you're building that running fitness, as you're building that, time on feet endurance side, making sure that you're staying hydrated, figuring out if at those distances and that time you need to fuel. I found that I did not for the 5K. I didn't need to take any gels or anything with me. I probably could and would benefit from it, but I didn't in my first one. But in the Spartan Super, I did take, some gels with me, and I also took electrolyte blocks, so I'd have to carry water with me with electrolyte mix or something like that. Cliff makes some, they call them blocks, and they're like gummy block things, and, they have few of the variants that have increased electrolytes in them, so I carried 2 packets of the Cliff Blocks and 2 Honey Stinger gels for the 10K. I did not use both gels, I just used 1, but I did use both of the, electrolyte blocks, which also hit me with some carbs as well. So I was able to fuel along the way, and that helped me just finish a lot stronger than I think I would have otherwise. So figuring out your, hydration, electrolyte, fueling strategy, if you are very, very fit and you're gonna crush the runs and you're not going to take that long on your race, you might not need to fuel, and that's okay. They will have water along the way in the races, so just being sure that, you're well hydrated going into it and that you know how much hydration you need to perform well. Um, I found that for the sprint and the super, my I was able to just drink water at the aid stations, and that was perfect for me. So, running fitness, fueling strategy, endurance, and time on feet, that's all in this, like, I would say, like, running endurance baseline, and performance kind of area. Figuring out all of that, is something that will help you be able to build your training plan for you and get ready for your race. Um, the next thing that we'll need to work on is strength training. I need to go get to this run, but I will catch you guys in a little bit. Okay, so training for your first Spartan race, we talked about developing your running fitness, and within that, also just developing a lot of time on feet for that endurance, and also training some nutrition depending on the length of the race that you're doing. So, yeah, knowing your electrolytes and any fuels that you need along the way, any gels or food, however you're gonna handle that. And just training all of that beforehand, because you don't want to like fuel or electrolyte for the first time on race day and just have some problems. GI problems can be not great. Um, so that's number one, is work on your running fitness. Number two, I would say, is strength training. And there's a couple different ways to do strength training. Um, in a couple of different areas that I would say are really important. The first is your grip. So in the Spartan races, you often have um you have monkey bars, you have the multi-rig with rings and bars, and you have different things where you're going to be climbing or supporting yourself by your hands. And so your grip strength will be impaired. It doesn't matter how strong your shoulders or your biceps or anything is. If your grip fails, you will fall. And you'll be taking that penalty loop or doing those burpees depending on the race. So train grip strength. There's lots of different ways you can do it. Dead hangs. You can get those grip trainers for a little bit of extra. Anything where you're holding lots of weight in your hands. I like to also do like plate or dumbbell farmer carries or kettlebell farmer carries. Those kind of serve double duty, because alongside your grip, another area that is really, really, really important to train is your like carries, because there will be a sandbag carry, there will be a bucket carry, and there might be two sandbags depending on the race. So you're going to have to pick up a heavy sandbag. Um, and each one's going to be different. They say they're like, 70 pounds or whatever, but they're all a little bit different. Um, and you have to put that on your shoulder or carry it in your arms, and or pick up a bucket and hold it, or put it up on your shoulder and carry it. And you have to just carry it for 400 meters or whatever it is. And you would be like, whatever, I can pick that up and walk with it. That's not a problem. The biggest thing that I found in my first Spartan race was that I was not ready for that sandbag carry and that bucket carry. When I came to it, I wore out so much faster than I expected to. On the bucket carry, I remember I was like going up these stairs, and it was just wildly heavy. And I remember thinking like, okay, I've got this balanced, I'm good. It doesn't feel that heavy now. But then like I started going up these stairs, and all of a sudden my heart rate spiked, and I was just absolutely gassed. And I just realized I hadn't trained any of these heavy carries, especially over any significant distance. So there's ways you can do this. You can get sandbags or a Home Depot bucket or a Lowe's bucket or whatever, and they just fill it with sand or rocks or water if you want, and carry the bucket, carry the sandbag. You can also, if you prefer to like do more of the like the ruck style of training for this, you can just grab any backpack you have, fill it with something heavy, or you can get a weighted vest, something like that, and just walk or run if you can do that safely with your joints and your running fitness. Um, because these carries will be in every race. They will take you by surprise if you've never trained for a heavy carry. So absolutely train your grip. Do anything you can to train your grip. Pull ups, dead hangs, carries. Also, do carry training specifically, because there will be heavy carries in the race, and then also you will be and also those armor carries will help you with your grip, and that will be super super helpful for you. Also, any kind of pull up or lap pull downs or things like that to really train those pulling muscles are going to be also super helpful, because there's times you have to jump and like grab on a wall, pull yourself up and over. There's going to be times where you have to like kind of climb any kind of these climbing muscles up here and monkey bars, those kinds of things. Again, all of this is going to be dependent on your grip. So train that grip first, but then everything else that comes after, the shoulders, the back muscles, anything that's that pulling muscle, your upper back, your shoulders, all of that is going to be super, super imperative to train as you're doing strength training. Also, don't neglect your legs when you're doing strength training for your legs, especially in conjunction with running. You're going to get a lot faster. You're going to get a lot stronger. It's going to help protect all your legs and all of your joints and all of those muscles and tendons in there if you are training strength training your legs. So doing things like squats, single leg squats, step ups, especially if they're weighted with a kettlebell, doing step ups onto a box or a bench will be super helpful. Also, anything that's going to train your stability, any kind of one legged exercises will be just absolutely, absolutely helpful. Because when you're running, think about it, you're just like constantly landing on one foot and the other. So all of the stabilizing muscles need to be able to like operate without the other foot on the ground. And then, like, if you add weight to that during one of the carries or something like that, then you've got even more, just even more like stress on all the stabilizing muscles. So train the stabilizing muscles, train your legs. You will not regret training your legs. Okay, so grip, heavy carries, legs, and then also your core. So your core is going to be just stressed through it all, especially anything. This took me by surprise as well. Whenever you're doing anything overhead and you need to like get momentum with your body, which I recommend. I didn't understand why other people I had listened to were recommending it, but it's much easier. Like if you're on monkey bars, for example, rather than like being absolutely still and like stretching out forward and grabbing the next one, it's much easier if you're holding here and you get your lower body to swing. You get that momentum to go to the next one and grab it and transition and then go to the next one and keep that swing going like a pendulum. Number one, it'll give you a good rhythm to get across those monkey bars, the multi rig, any of those kinds of things. But also, it's actually like less work on your upper body and those pulling muscles if you're using your momentum to swing that way. But it's got to be a controlled swing. And to control that swing, you need a tight core. I do not have the tightest of cores right now, a work in progress. Um, but doing any kind of planks, all the different variations of planks and any kind of ab holds and like leg raises, all of those core strengthening workouts, any like medicine ball twists and all of that will just help you to stabilize everything again and let your core work with the rest of your body as you're doing all of these obstacles. Not only will your core be engaged there, but also it makes things like the carries easier as well because it's stabilizing everything and you're keeping everything nice and tight and controlled. And that is the name of the game, is control when it comes to the Spartan obstacles and the race itself. Okay, so we've talked about running fitness, we've talked about strength training. The other thing to train, which this one is a little bit harder to train, but it's actually what I found the Spartan race itself to be the best training. But that's your mindset. There's going to be moments where you want to quit. I've had several myself, and there's going to be times where there's some sort of mental block. For me, the first part of my first race was going pretty smooth, right? I'm a pretty tall guy, so the first couple walls and hurdles and stuff like that, kind of easy. And then I came up to the barbed wire crawl, where you're crawling on your like stomach under barbed wire, and it is real, actual sharp barbed wire. Got cut on the back by it.
It was, like, in water and, like, gravel because there's no mud here in Arizona, and so I was like, "Well, here we go," and I just had to, like, jump in and just, like, put all this, like, "Oh, that's gonna be uncomfortable, that's gonna, like I'm gonna get soaked, my feet are gonna get soaked, my whole like, there's no way to stay this like, the slightest semblance of dry, like, nope, okay." There's a moment that I paused and I was like, "Oh, how do I get" we just go right in. So, dive in head first, making sure that you're just ready to, like, go. Yes, commit. That is the mindset that will get you through this race. So after that first one, okay, the second barbed wire crawl was much easier because I'd already pushed through that wall. And then there were a couple of things, the monkey bars and there was something else as well that I actually ended up having to failed and then like had to do a penalty loop, but none of those took me by surprise. Those were pretty normal, like I pretty expected because it didn't have all of that upper body and core strength and grip strength built up yet. But then I came to the inverted wall, which is like a wall that's like tilted back toward you at I don't know 45-ish degree angle, something like that. And it's got like a bottom rung, it's got a middle rung, and it's got like the top of the wall, and you have to make it over it. And the I kind of expected it to be pretty easy because I'm tall and all the other walls at this point were easy. So when I got there, like I tried and like I failed, and there was this weird like mental block. And it was weird because it felt like I don't know exactly how to describe this or articulate it, but it felt like there was like a mental block that was keeping me from actually accessing all of the strength I had to pull myself over. And like once I finally like just like forced myself through that mental wall, it was really easy to pull myself over. And after that, everything else just became way easier. So training your mindset to like meet those walls and train your perspective to know they're coming and be ready to push through that will just make you even more race day ready on the front end. I don't know that I could have learned that pre-race. I think that I needed to feel that moment in the race. Maybe you do too. Maybe you will too. I don't know to really push through that. But that really helped for my second race, and I think it will help for my third and fourth and however many others because I learned it in that first moment at the inverted wall. So we've got the other minds. They've got the mindset being prepared that it's going to be hard and you need to commit and just go. I'm gonna do it. Second mindset you need to do is that you need to set is that I'm going to finish. Now, caveat, you'll hear some people say death before DNF did not finish. I don't quite ascribe to that. If you get injured and it is no longer safe or you are harming yourself to finish, besides just scrapes and soreness and sore muscles, like please stop. Take the DNF. You will learn more from that DNF than you will from forcing yourself to finish with an injury. So besides those kinds of, like, injuries where you should like, you've just gotta decide, like, "I am getting to that finish line, and I don't care how long it takes." Shooting for a certain pace, especially on your first one, don't worry about it. You don't know because 'cause you've never done this before. You can look up other race stats and have an idea, and, uh, you might be right, you might be in the ballpark, but I doubt it because it's your first time and you've never done it yourself. If you're with somebody else, maybe you can get a good estimation if they've done it before and you're gonna, like, keep pace with them, and they know your fitness, they might be able to give you a pretty good estimate, but, just have this mindset of, "I am finishing, I'm competing against myself, I'm not trying to get on podium, I am here to finish, and I'm going to push through, and I'm going to finish." One of the things that helps train this, mindset is to know why you're racing. I've shared before that I race, and I do these kinds of hard things for two reasons. One, to be healthier because I need to be a healthier human being, and pushing myself in this way so far has helped me be a healthier human being. Second, it's to be a better dad and a better example for my kids so that they don't grow up being as lazy as I have been for a good chunk of my life and being as unhealthy as I've been for a good chunk of my life, giving them an example to follow that is worth following, and hopefully inspire them and teach them how to be healthier human beings. That's my why. And when the races get hard, when the training gets hard, that's what I have to come back to. That's why I train. That's why last month I put in like over 50 miles of running, which I've never done in a month in my life. Um, and that's why I ran a Spartan race in November. Then I ran another one in February, and I'm looking at two more this year. And that's why I was able to finish those races because I knew that my kids were waiting at the finish line for me, that they were looking at me to see how does dad handle hard things? Because that's going to set the tone for how they handle hard things and how they handle struggles and challenges in their life for the rest of their lives. And that is my why. When you're out there on those training runs, when you're out there on the trail, on the course, and you don't know that you can finish. Your body is saying, "Hey, I just want to sit down. It's Sunday, it's Saturday, whatever. I'm used to just sitting on the couch. Can we go watch Netflix now?" The Your why is what will fuel your energy, and your determination and your grit to finish. Train your mindset to push through the hard things, to push your body to new heights, and to finish regardless of the time. And if you're a road runner and you're like very like dialed in on your paces and I run this pace all the time, understand that you may be able to sustain those paces for part of the road, especially if there's any extended running parts, especially if you're accustomed to trails and the undulation that is usually in these kinds of races. You might be able to sustain those paces for a bit, but once you're then exerting yourself, your heart rate will spike and you'll feel fatigued. Your muscles will feel fatigued from pulling yourself over a wall, and you'll have to slow down, and that's okay. Um, just just trust your body, run by feel, and operate by feel, and learning to trust those signals in your body in training is going to help just set yourself up for such a better running experience, race day experience. So we're training our running fitness, and then we're going to train our strength, grip, carries, legs, core. We're going to train our mindset to do hard things, to push our limits, and to finish and not pay attention to the time at first. Um, the last thing that we need to train is burpees. I know, burpees are awful. Burpees suck. But uh, some of the Spartan races nowadays will have penalty loops for failed obstacles. Historically, all of the Spartan races would have 30 burpees for a penalty. 30 burpees. And you're like, I can do 30 burpees. Okay, go run 7 kilometers and, every half a kilometer, every kilometer, go try to do an obstacle, fail it, and then have to do 30 burpees to before running to the next one and repeating the process. Right. So any of the obstacles you don't finish, you're gonna have to take a penalty loop, which is why I said train extra mileage. But some of them, and they will usually tell you at the beginning of the race which ones are burpee obstacles. And um those burpees will just absolutely gas you. So I recommend training burpees, train them like before and after, like a run maybe, like buy in with burpees. I've heard somebody talk about buying into your workout with burpees. Like this is not part of the workout. This is what I have to do to be able to get to the workout. So if I'm running 10K today, maybe I go and I do 10 burpees, run the 10K, and then I have to like buy back out of the workout with another 10 burpees. Maybe it's 20, maybe it's 30. Maybe you can only do 5 right now. Do those 5, do your workout, do another 5, and just train that because number 1, that's gonna give you some really, really great, full body conditioning. It's gonna give you some really good, like, cardiovascular conditioning, which is gonna be just awesome for your overall health, number 1. Number 2, it's gonna be great for training, for, like, prepping you for the race. Number 3, if you're the one just burning through the burpees out there, man, even if you are taking that penalty, if you're just absolutely just owning all of the burpees and you're ready and you can just get up and take off after the burpees, man, you're going to be so much further ahead than I was when I went in. And there was only one burpee required obstacle in my first race, and that was the spear throw. Um, which is very near the end. I was so tired and I had like halfway decent form and I threw the spear, but it went low. I didn't aim high enough and it bounced off, didn't stick, and I had to take my 30 burpees. And I thought I was gonna vomit. I was not ready for the burpees. So train burpees or so they don't sneak up on you. They will help with all the rest of your training. Okay, so that's my advice on how to train for your first Spartan race. Again, I'm not a coach. I'm not a doctor. I don't have that many races under my belt, but that's from my experience what I found to be helpful so far, and I hope that it is helpful for you. One thing to note: you can't out train a bad diet. So as you're training, make sure you have good nutrition. I'm not saying you need to go, some extremely restrictive diet, but watch what you're eating, especially around training times. Fuel yourself with carbs. Make sure that you're recovering with plenty of protein, so that your muscles can recover, they can build, and your carbs can fuel your workouts to be the most effective that they can be. Keep up on your electrolytes, all your micronutrients as well, multivitamins, perhaps keep up on all of that. If you are overweight like me, you could consider a slight calorie deficit, so that you not only are you getting stronger, but also you're getting lighter, which means less work for your grip to hold up, less weight for your legs to run forward through that whole race, etc. You get the picture, right? We can get stronger, we can also get lighter, and which makes the efforts even easier, which will pay dividends to go. So remember, we're gonna train our running, we're train our strength, we're gonna train our strength, and then we're gonna train our mindset. But overall, we can't out train a bad diet. So also we're gonna eat well to support our goals and to support our race day. Yeah, that's what's been on my mind about how to train for a Spartan race. Again, I hope this helps someone out there. I hope this helps you. And if you're looking at this and you haven't signed up for the race yet, go sign up. You won't regret it. It's gonna be awesome. Just go sign up for the race. Not sponsored. I don't get anything from you signing up for a race, but you get a whole lot for signing up for that race, committing and showing yourself that you can do hard things too. Thanks for hanging out today. We'll see you next time.